Shalom, Akim. First and foremost, we want to give our praises to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, B'Rakah Kodash.
Double honors to our elders, the apostles of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers who are out there doing the work in sincerity and in truth. All right, and for this lesson, we're going to go into the correct breakdown and understanding of James 1 verse 27, because you'll have some people, you know, they'll make the scriptures into an emotional thing when it shouldn't be. You know, when it deals with the fatherless and it deals with the widows and it deals with certain things, it's just not talking about random Jake that you see out and about. You know, you gotta have balance with it, man. You gotta know who you're doing good to, man. And we make up the fatherless and widows. All right. When we out there teaching, that's us talking to the fatherless and widows, man. Being an example. All right. We an example to that on a day-to-day basis, just by how we live, how we eat, and how we in unity with each other, man. But yeah, you got it, brother.
Yeah, okay, we're gonna start with James 1:26.
James 1 verse 26. If any man among you seem to be religious and bridleth not his tongue, but deceive his own heart, this man's religion is vain.
All right, let's focus on religious. Get that in the Greek, bro.
All right. It's the Greek word, streskos. All right, and it says fearing or worshiping God, to trembling, fearful.
Right, and the definition, if you using religion in this format, is fearing or worshiping the Most High. All right, so how do you fear and worship the Most High? By keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. All right, which goes back to being likened to the Most High and Yahushua to his image. All right, brother, get Genesis 1:26.
Genesis chapter 1 verse 26.
Come on, get finished.
And the Most High said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth.
Bro, read that first part again, bro. Sure.
Genesis 1 and 26.
Mm-hmm.
And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness.
Correct. Let us make man in our image, after our likeness. What is this talking about? Are you physically going to look like the Most High? No. It's keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, all right? Because basically, that gives you order. It gives you wisdom. It gives you understanding. This is symbolic talk. To prove that point, get image in the Hebrew, bro.
Strong's 86754. Selling.
All right, it says image, likeness, or resemblance.
And that's how you're likened to the Most High and Yahushua. All right, that's how you resemble Yahushua and the Most High by the law, statutes, and commandments. But at this time frame, it's about your faith, and your faith is going to make you do the work anyway. Just breaking down the term religious in that scripture, all right, because it's dealing with keeping the commandments. Okay, that's what that's dealing with. To prove that point, just more elaboration. Go to Deuteronomy, brother. Deuteronomy 4, verse 5 and 6.
Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as Yahweh my power commanded me, that you should do so in the land whither you go to possess it. Verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
And that's the key point. This is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations. That's why we were separated from these other nations, because we had the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding via the law. All right? But at this time frame, all right, it's about your faith in Yahushua. So now what separates you from the 2/3 is the Holy Spirit. Okay? All right, you finish that out.
All right. Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely This great nation is a wise and understanding people.
All right, and that's the point. So now we got the general idea of what religion or is going into in that scripture. Go back to James 1:26.
James 1:26.
Mhm.
If any man among you seem to be religious and bridle not his
And
tongue,
what does that mean? Having some self-restraint, having some self-control, having discipline. Go ahead, bro.
but deceiving his own heart,
Mhm.
this man's religion is vain.
So so if you can't basically control yourself, all right, and if you get deceived by your own heart, what is that saying? That your religion is vain, meaning that basically you're not being in order. Okay, now keep going. Let's get to the point.
Verse 27,
Mhm.
pure religion and undefiled before the Most High and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction,
Mhm.
and to keep himself unspotted from the world.
Now, bro, get fatherless in the Hebrew, Salaki, get fatherless in the Greek. And if y'all got any precepts, because it's gonna come together, about, and somebody, I should y'all get Isaiah 30:20. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, get that in the Greek.
This for fatherless.
Strong's G 3737.
Mhm.
That's where you get orphan from.
That's right.
It says, bereaved of a father or parents, of those bereaved of a teacher, guide, guardian.
And that's what it means.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
Yeah.
All right. And what is bereaved? Bereaved is the past tense of bereaved. You lost what? You lost your teacher. You lost your guide. You lost your spiritual guardian, man. It's not talking about no physical father in that aspect. The Most High speaks in parables, man. All right. You got a piece of it?
I
Go ahead.
got,
Yeah, that's
this
one.
is,
Yeah, come on.
Okay.
this is, First Thessalonians. I'm gonna jump around a little bit. This is First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 14. It says, now we exhort you, brethren, warn them that are unruly, comfort the feeble-minded, support the weak, be patient towards all men. Now, how do you comfort the feeble-minded? Which these would be fatherless and widows, you know what I'm saying? How do you warn them that are unruly? You know, how do you support the weak? This is First Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 18. Wherefore comfort one another with these words.
That's right. That's right.
That's how you comfort. That's how you comfort Jake, man. Matter of fact, I'll go back to First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 11. Wherefore comfort yourselves together and edify one another, even as also ye do. So that's what you're supposed to be doing, man. Edifying. And how do you do that? Teaching. Being an example in the faith. That's how you do it, man. When, like, we doing that right now, doing this video. Being an example. This is looking after the flock and the weak-minded, or a brother who may have been feeling emotional or different stuff and thought this scripture actually meant random people. Now they know. Why? Because you guided them. You showed them through the scriptures that no, that's not what it's talking about. It's correction, man. Now that person, now that they know the right breakdown and they know the truth about it, they're comforted, man.
Yeah, could you read that definition for father? Was it fatherless?
All right, and the Greek word is orphanos, and it says bereaved of a father or parents, of those bereaved of a teacher, guide, guardian.
All right, yeah, bereaved or deprived of a guardian, man. So Isaiah 30:20. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore.
And the bread of adversity and the water of affliction is coming from these curses, man.
Yeah.
Okay? Go ahead, brother.
But thy eyes shall see thy teachers.
Right, and then it says that your teacher should not be in the corner. When you go into the Hebrew, meaning that your teacher is going to be visible. He's going to be in plain sight. Hence, YouTube, man. Via YouTube. All right? All right, just to prove that point that your teachers is actually talking about your spiritual teachers, man. The fatherless is actually going into the elect, okay? All right. Yeah, 1 Timothy, 1 and 2.
This First Timothy 1 and 2. Unto Timothy, my own son, in faith, grace, mercy, and peace from the Most High, our Father, and Yahushua Mashiach, our Lord.
And get son in the Greek, Shaka, 1 Timothy 1 and 2. Hey, read that again, bro. Bible shot.
The First Timothy 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Unto Timothy, my own son, in the faith, grace, mercy, and peace from the Most High, our Father, and Yahushua Mashiach.
So prior to Paul meeting Timothy, he would have been considered fatherless, man. All right? Because he didn't know the truth. Although he had a father, but he still would have been fatherless. Get father in the Greek, bro.
And like I said,
Yeah,
they
sure.
referred to Timothy father as a Greek. You know, so they let you know Timothy didn't have no spiritual guidance, man, because his father was all into the Hellenistic lifestyle, man. You know, just like our fathers, man. If you into this American culture, it's equivalent to you being called a Greek, man. And most of our fathers was American, man.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. That's right, bro. Beautiful. Go ahead, Shaka.
Just the Greek word for fathers,
Mhm.
or fathers.
Strong's G 3962. Patea. Patea.
And it says generator or male ancestor,
Mm-hmm.
either the nearest ancestor, father of the corporeal nature, natural fathers, both parents, a more remote ancestor, the founder of a family or tribe, the progenitor of a people, forefather. So Abraham is called Jacob and David, father, i.e. ancestors, forefathers, founders of the nation, metaphorically, originator and transmitter.
You know what, Salaki? Get son. It was son. Yeah, I knew that. Get son, bro. Yeah, read that again, though, Ataz 1, so we can get that vibration back out there. 1 Timothy 1 and 2.
The First Timothy 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Unto Timothy, my own son, in the faith, grace, mercy, peace from the Most High, our Father, and Yahushua Mashiach, our Lord.
Okay. Now let's get son in the Greek. Go ahead, bro.
Strong's G 5043. Technon.
And it says offspring,
Hey,
children.
jump down to definition 3. Just get to it. Come on. Mm-hmm.
All right,
In the NT.
in the New Testament, pupils or disciples are called children of their teachers because the latter, by their instruction, nourish the minds of their pupils and mold their characters.
That's what the fatherless is talking about. To prove that point, Titus 1 and 4.
This is the book of Titus, chapter 1, verse 4. To Titus, my own son, after the coming faith, grace, mercy, and peace from the Most High, the Father, and the Lord, Yahushua HaMashiach, our Savior.
And that son is the same Greek word that the brother just read in 1 Timothy 1 and 2, man. All right? So basically, it's symbolic talk. Okay? You can't have a carnality mind built on emotions, man. The Most High deals in the spirit, man. All right? He knows where all these people are at, man. But you got to break down the scriptures in its correct form, man. That doesn't mean that you're supposed to go out there and basically, you know, take people trash out of shit. Or be a mentor. You know, your job and your duty in the truth is to push the word, just like the precept the elder had brought out, man. All right? You got something? Go ahead, bro. You can break it down.
Yeah, this is the book of Lamentations, chapter 5, starting at verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
It says, remember, O Lord, what has come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows.
Read that again. God dang.
Remember, O Lord, what has come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens.
We broke the law, statutes, and commandments, man. That's why we became fatherless, man. We broke the law, statutes, and commandments, man. That's why we became widows. All right? And also the Most High was a widower because he lost his wife. When you lose your wife, basically you become a widower. When you lose your husband, you become a widow. All right? It doesn't mean a goddamn man who lost his wife in a carnality. It's symbolic talk. Teach the scriptures the way you've been taught. Was you through with that?
Come one more. It says we are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows.
Wasn't that Greek word orphans? Yeah, which that's where you get orphans from, bro. Precept upon precept, line upon line. Here a little and there a little, man. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, you got something? Go ahead,
Well, I got one more. I'm gonna read down. It says, we have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us. Our necks are under persecution.
Hence the term Isaiah 30, going into the water of affliction, the bread of adversity, due to the curses, man. You see how it all connects together through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Shah? Go ahead, bro.
Our necks are under persecution. We labor and have no rest.
Right, because we in fucking hell, man.
And I want to make a point. I want to get a point there too, because in verse 1 it says, remember, O Lord, what has come upon us. Who outside of the hopefully elect are actually remembering and calling upon Yahweh Hashem Shah. Because the ordinary people in the world, they're not calling upon him, man. Hey, because they're lost in the sauce due to those curses, due to that blood of those that persecuted Yahweh Shah. You know, our people, and we love our people. At the same time, everything has to be done decently and in order. You know, I got an 80-something-year-old grandmother who loved Jesus to death. She still eat pork to the day this died. She watch her daily religious or gospel specials, man. You know, and it is what it is. You know, I check up on it, and the scriptures say, if at all possible, be at peace with all men. And we don't live our life being assholes in the world.
Right.
We give $1 here and there. We hold a door open for, and we hold a door for Edomite every now and then.
That's right.
You know? So how much more for our people? It's not that we have a disdain or hatred toward the entire nation of Israel. It's just we put everything in proper context of understanding that Heavenly Father has the elect whom He gonna save, and He has His wicked whom He's gonna destroy. Now we prophesied unto everybody, all nations hear the word. The righteous elect gonna hear the word regardless, and the wicked of our people are gonna hear the word and be condemned. You know, but that doesn't give us a free license or full course to go out and deliver hot plates. You know what I'm saying? To say that it's mandated from us because we serving the widows and the fathers.
It ain't no second slot, it ain't no second part to that. Just you can get it back.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, because it's not what it is. That's an extracurricular activity that you personally decide to indulge inside of. You know? But that's not mandated in the scriptures. Hey, because we those orphans, we those fathers, we those widows, man. You know?
Yeah, you gotta be quick. Go ahead, bro. Break it down, Tom.
And this First Timothy, that's Timothy 1 and 9. Hold fast the faithful word as he been taught, that you may sound doctrine, but exert and convince gainsayers. What the elders apostles taught us is true, and they know the battle back and forth. They know how they know it. So when they taught us, you can't come out of your own heart saying this is what this means, but you don't mean that. You know what I'm saying? So this is true, and this how it is. So you can't say this is what this means. The widows and fatherless, when it don't mean that. Like the brother says, it's symbolic. You know what I'm saying? So you got to stick what you've been taught. You know what I'm saying? So this if you do that, you been double-minded. That's basically what you're doing. That's basically what you've been.
And that's why your video didn't make sense when you was breaking it down, because you would go with the Greek, and then you would come back over, going back to what dealing with your emotions, man. And then you scatter the sheep with that wayward doctrine, man, because you know deep down that scripture doesn't mean that, man. You know this. And we done had classes on that, you know what I'm saying? And then apostles done put out videos dealing with that, man. You know, we warning you before the Most High intervenes, man. You better stop that shit.
Yeah, Most High is intervening right now verbally, man. You gotta look at the brothers as men of the Lord, and the Most High uses us as vessels. Take this as a warning from you, how about you, man, shot. You just can't use the scriptures and twist them high based on your emotions, man. You know what I'm saying? That'll get you killed.
That'll make you add to the scriptures.
Yeah.
What Revelation say, if any man add or take away from the scriptures, you know, they're gonna die, man.
Yeah, about the Bible.
It's book of Acts, chapter 6, verse 1. And in those days, when the number of the disciples were multiplied, there arose a murmuring of the Grecians against the Hebrews. You know, Grecians are those Greek-speaking Jews, you know, that came into the faith. And it said, because their widows were neglected in the daily ministration. So what you had going on, all right, during the time, all right, the Romans, I think it was Caesar, Claudius, all right, you had a famine in the land, man. So that's why the church was taking the money and distributing it out to the churches need be, man. Everyone put all their money in one pot and they distributed it out, all right, to the churches need be, man, because it was a famine in the land. You know, that's why those two people got killed. Their husband and wife got killed because they held back, man. And it was during the famine, you know. But just the point, 1 to 2 and 3. It said, then the 12 called the multitude of the disciples unto them and said, it is not reason that we should leave the word of the Most High and serve tables. You see? So you had this going on. They were like, look, you know, they came to the apostles with it. You know, they were murmuring among the Grecians like our widows being neglected in daily ministry. So the apostles like, look, we can't leave what we doing to go serve tables, man. All right, we ought to teach this Bible, man. We too close in the end for us to be out there with that Tupac mentality to keep your head up, man. All right, that shit dead, man. You know what the Most High finna do to the planet Earth, man? This what the people need, man. Not no $5 to $10, man. You know, that's just like you reward bad behavior, man. You know, so we can't leave what we doing, all right, to try to play good Samaritan in the hood, man. You know, this ain't what we was called to do, man. We was called to preach the elect, man. All right, the Lord is raising up leaders of the elected nation of Israel. The rest of Israel ain't even Israel right now, man.
That's right.
You know, so we just gonna stay to this word and preach this word, man. This the most valuable thing you can get in Israel here, man. You know.
Hey, gosh, go to Hosea 1 and 9 and point and 10.
Come on.
Just kind of okay.
This is the book of Hosea, chapter 1, verse 9. Then said the Most High, call his name, lo I me, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your power. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in that place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living power.
Ye are the sons of the living power, man. So, okay, so now you see how basically the precepts are lining up upon each other, man. Okay, so now brothers are went from the status of being fatherless to having a father now, man. Symbolic talk. All right, where did we know that, okay, you're no longer fatherless anymore, that the Most High is your father? By this truth, man. All right? By this truth, man. You can have a father in your household and from a spiritual standpoint still be fatherless, man. Okay? You got to deal in the spirit, man. Go ahead, Scott.
This, further proof of breaking down the fatherless and widows. Get Jeremiah 6 and 2, bro.
This Jeremiah 6 and 2. I have life.
Since you get that's what I want. Can we get that definition of widow first? In widow, James 1 and 27. Yeah, get widow. This gonna bring the point home.
You say you want widow?
Widows.
Strong's G 5503. Hater.
It says, hater. It says feminine of a presumed derivative, apparently from the base.
You jump down, bro, to the outline of biblical usage.
Yeah, it says a widow metaphor, a city stripped of its inhabitants and riches is represented under the figure of a widow.
Now go to prove that point, because to prove that point, get Revelation 18:7. All right? But from the spiritual standpoint, we are a people before we are a place, man. So if we lost our husbands, I feel like if we lost our husband because we broke the law, statutes, and commandments, they're dead in our relationship. That's how we became widows, because the Most High at a point of time in our life was dead to us, man. That's all it's saying. All right, prove that point, man. And this is Revelation 18:7. Now this is from a physical standpoint of America. Go ahead.
It said, this is Revelation chapter 18, verse 7. How much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I see the queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow.
And the reason why America is going to become a widow, because it's going to be hit with nuclear fire, it's going to lose its inhabitants, and it's also going to lose its riches. All right? Now, when we are considered as a people before we are placed, we lost our riches. What's the riches according to the scriptures? The Holy Spirit, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Hashem Shah. It tells you that in the book of Romans. But to prove one more point, Baba Bashar, somebody get 1st, 2nd Maccabees 5:19. And this is going, and this is on you now, because that's going to lead into what you're trying to do. 2nd Maccabees 5:19. 2nd Maccabees 5:19.
I'm done.
Okay, come on.
2 Maccabees 5:19. Nevertheless, the Most High did not choose the people for the place's sake, but the place for the people's sake.
That's right. So we was Israelites, but we know before we even made it to the land of Canaan, man. All right. So how did we lose? How did we be stripped from our riches? Because basically that relationship was dead, man. We lost our husband, man. Symbolic talk, man. All right, go ahead, bro. Time's on here.
This is pretty much further breaking down James 1:27. It's Jeremiah 6:2.
This Jeremiah 6:2. I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman.
So before we broke the law, statutes, and commandments as a nation, we was looked at as a beautiful woman, Zion was. So Yahweh Shai, he gonna express himself how we was known as a beautiful woman when we lost our heritage going into these false doctrines and things of that such, worshiping these other gods. He started taking all our ornaments off, our jewelry. And further prove that this is Ezekiel 16. And let you get this. Isaiah 62:5.
Isaiah 62:5. For as a young man married a virgin, so shall thy sons marry thee. And as the bridegroom rejoiced over the bride, so shall thy Most High rejoice over thee.
So in this perspective, the bridegroom is our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai. And we know as a bride, because we know as a delicate, comely woman, right? All right, so now get Ezekiel 16, verse 1. It's pretty much this whole chapter right here is talking about how the nation Israel was known as a delicate, pretty woman. Then we lost our heritage by worshiping other gods, and that's when Yahweh Shai started stripping us from our heritage. So, and go any further, this is really talking about an elect brother, man. Ezekiel 16, verse 1.
Okay. Ezekiel 16:1. Again, the word of the Most High came to me, saying, Son of man, call Jerusalem to know her abomination.
Yep. Okay. Now, we just skip around. Now, this is talking about how pretty we were and how comely and delicate we were. Jump to verse 7, bro.
This Ezekiel 16:7. I have caused thee to multiply as the bud of the field, and thou hast increased and waxed great. Thou art come to excellent ornament. Thy breast, thy breast, and fashioning, and thy hair is grown, whereas that was naked and bare.
All right. So he pretty much let us know how pretty and delicate we are. Now jump down to verse 10 and 11, bro.
10. I clothe thee also with a border, work, and showed shine with the badger of skin. I girded thee about the fine linen. I covered thee with the silk. I decked thee also with ornament, and put bracelets upon thy hands, and chains on thy neck. And I put jewels on thy forehead, and the earrings in thy ears, and the beauty crown upon thy head.
Now jump down to verse. This when we start becoming ugly as a woman. Jump to verse.
But you see through the Spirit how He gave us everything we wanted. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do to your wife. You know what I'm saying? When you're in love with her, you give her anything she wants, man.
Yeah. It's pretty much like Deuteronomy 28, like 1 through 14. You know what I'm saying? You breaking it down. Alright, now jump to verse 15, bro.
Alright, Ezekiel 16:15. But thou didst trust in thy own beauty, and played the harlot because of thy renown, and imported at the fornication of everyone that passed by. Is his was.
Yep, keep going.
And thy garments thou didst take, and thy deck thy high places, and divers colors, and played the harlot thereupon. The lightning thing shall not come, neither shall be so.
Yep. So pretty much we pass by in the streets, like a woman in the streets or whatever, and she talking to every man. That's us symbolically worshiping these other gods, following these other religions. So we became as a harlot. You know, we lost that beauty, man. We lost all our ornaments, our jewelry, our our crown. You know what I'm saying? We lost all that as a people, man. So our bridegroom, Yahweh Shai, he's gonna come back and get the elect and bring them back into the marriage. And further prove that, Revelation 16 and 5, bro.
Can I bring out a quick one? Revelation, Salaki, Jeremiah 3:14. Turn, O backsliding children, saith the Lord Yahweh, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. And I will give you pastors according to my heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding.
So those widows are no longer going to be widows.
That's right.
Right? Hey, read it from the beginning again, because there's going to be a particular group of people that are going to be married unto Yahweh Shai.
All right, bro. In Jeremiah 3:14, turn, O backsliding children, saith the Lord Yahweh, for I am married unto you, and I will take you one of a city.
So that's separatism right there. That's not everybody.
So what's gonna happen to the rest of the people?
Exactly. To those true Gentiles, those true so-called widows, and the carnality way of thinking. The people that are lacking out there, the fathers that are lacking out there.
Because if it says one, because that's the scripture I have, bro. If it says love is a spirit, if it says one of a city, two of a household, that means your aunt, the husband, dad is locked up, she ain't gonna make it. You know, your cousin, his dad, he never saw his dad, he ain't gonna make it unless he's the one or the two of the household.
I got a quick one for you, boy. Bag on you. This is 2 Corinthians 11:2. For I am jealous over you with godly jealousy, for I have espoused you to one husband, that I may present you as a chaste virgin to Hamashiach.
And that's oh my goodness, man.
Who's going to be presented?
That's the elect. The Most High is not refining everybody in your family. He's not refining the rest of Israel. That's what separates us from the conscious niggas, man.
And a chaste virgin, when she comes into that marriage, she's beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, come.
She got that veil over her. She dressed in white. She's pure.
And part of that chaste virgin, we're like a virgin because we got purified through the truth, man. We got purified through the affliction. So the elect are like virgins. We like virgins for the interest of Yahweh Shai, but the Most High is not dealing on that level with the rest of Israel. That's just a pill you gotta swallow when you come in, man. My mom might not make it. It is what it is, man. I pray for her, but if she don't make it, I got faith that she gonna come back. You know?
That's why it says in Romans, not all Israel is of Israel.
Right.
Then you know it's a separation.
For the elect have obtained it and the rest are blinded. So like you brought out the scripture about the virgin, that's the one of a city, two of a household is actually gonna get refined through the process of being in this truth and going through the afflictions and the sufferings and cause he's actually dealing with that 1/3, man.
That's right.
Hey, and just link it back up. Well, the brother read Ezekiel 16, Isaiah 52:1. Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion, put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city. For henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and unclean.
Yep.
So a nigga in the world, whatever, he can't come into this.
He can't come in.
And whether it's a widow,
A widow.
I mean a widow, what you were saying,
Yeah.
or a father child, what you saying, that nigga, them niggas gonna be destroyed, man.
And
And
because
this of the Most High, man.
Right.
Salaki,
no, you good. And because a fatherless child, how you know, pursuant to the book of Ecclesiastes, that he's not one of the monsters brought forth by a menstruous woman. You know,
Yeah.
a monstrous child is brought forth up by a menstruous woman, man. Hey, you know, what's the judgment for that individual?
Yeah, cause you can't be a fatherless to a Chief Keef type nigga. You can't be a father figure to that nigga. That's what our nation is producing. These single women, so-called widows, they're producing these savages, man. We can't apply the scripture to them.
And then the widow say they independent.
Yeah. So we can't be a father to them, cause they don't need our ass.
Come on.
I had a precept for whoever had the last one.
Okay, I'm about to do that other one.
I think it's a word that goddamn tank.
I got one, was you finished with that? Yeah, just even getting into an actual widow, the scriptures even go into that. This is 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 3. Honor widows that are widows indeed. All right? Now, but if...
Can I say something?
Oh, go ahead.
Indeed, what is she doing? She's benefiting the ministry, man.
Mhm.
I mean, the ministry.
Good, and it's gonna break it down. But if any widow have children or nephews, let them learn first how to show piety at home and to requite their parents, for that is good and acceptable before the Most High. Now it breaks down in verse 5 what is a widow indeed. Now she that is a widow indeed and desolate trusteth in the Most High, and continueth in supplications and prayers night and day. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. So there's a separation of the widows that it told you to even honor, man. It's the women who actually widows who in this truth. It said the other ones that's living in pleasure, they dead, man. We ain't fucking with them, man. Like they ain't got nothing to do with us. Like the scripture you got. Why we leave the word of the Most High to go serve tables, man?
Yeah, well, you can go ahead.
Why would we, just because Bertha down the street, she ain't had nobody to take out her trash, you go take out the trash for her, you go give her $5, $10 and all that. Hey, did you know Sirach chapter 12 tell you this evil can come back on you, man? You know what I'm saying? But even with that, if you did want to go take out their trash, hey, do that on your own goddamn time, man. Don't be making a doctrine out of it,
Just the point.
you know?
If I could just make a quick point, going back to the widows, you know, I've been on construction sites, and it'd be like mostly Issachar, and one of the workers' wives would come up with a truckload of tacos, and she'll serve everybody. Now, when it comes to the truth, you might have a widow that's following, you know, the apostles, following the brothers. They might make garments for brothers. You know what I'm saying? They might do stuff for brothers, make food for brothers or something. You know, you might go to a brother's house, his mom or grandma might cook for brothers. That's like a widow, you know, that's a widow indeed, man.
And you show honor to that.
And you show, you give her some type of respect, more so than a random so-called black woman with no man. You know?
Right, and you at the same time frame, you still not giving them no physical money. What you
Yeah.
doing? You building up in the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who was that? The lady in was she in the Book of Acts? Yeah, she had been a succorer for the ministry. Was it Phoebe?
Phoebe.
Yeah, it was Phoebe. You know, and Paul reverenced her, meaning he gave her honor for what she was doing. Why? Because she was benefiting the ministry. Yeah. Phoebe was sitting at the house watching Days of Our Lives and Tyler Perry, man.
She delivered the letter of Romans to the church in Rome.
She was,
So like,
no, I was just gonna say she was instrumental.
yeah, it called her a benefactor in the scripture. You look up characters. It called her a benefactor to the church.
And Mary Magdalene.
Come.
And because she was if I'm not mistaken, she was a whore prior to her conversion, right? You know?
I can only ascertain that benefactor is the opposite of malefactor. So she's a beneficial to the ministry. She's instrumental. You know, just to make that point.
So she was no longer that widow, so to speak,
Right.
because she was converted.
That's right. That's right. Everything is in the spirit, man. The Most High deals with the spirit, man. That carnality, you don't deal with that emotions and stuff like that. That's why he states that his thoughts are not your thoughts, man. You got to deal with the scriptures, man, because when you start delving in your own mind, you know what I'm saying, you lean to the left, you lean to the right. But when you stick to the scriptures, man, you straight and narrow, man.
And just one more scripture, because when you come into this truth, man, you're not fatherless anymore. All right, you got your spiritual fathers down here in the flesh, and then ultimately you got the Most High that's your father, because now you back under the wing of the Most High, man. All right, this is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 6. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. All right, so that means he received the son. Who is that? A man who came into the faith, man.
Reconciliation.
Mm-hmm.
He's been reconciled back to the Father.
God, he was reconciled back to the Father, like the elder said, man. So yeah, so what is the Lord doing? He's whooping his son's ass. That's why us, we go through sufferings and we go through different things here to make us better, make us stronger in the faith. You know? And it goes on to say, if ye endure chastening, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not?
And what's the name? Read down.
But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards and not sons.
Fatherless, yeah.
So you can't deal with men that's not in the truth, that's fatherless in the spirit.
Yep.
They're fatherless because they haven't been reconciled back to the Most High. Because the Most High is not dealing with them, because they're created to be taken and destroyed.
That's right. That's right.
I had a quick precept. 2 Timothy 2 and 4. No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who have chosen him to be a soldier. So we ain't got time for serving tables, man, taking out auntie trash, man. If she stay next to you, do what you do. But don't synchronize your emotions with the doctrine, man.
And what Killmonger do when he came back from Wakanda, he's like, get him out of here. He's like, hey, auntie. So he said, like, yeah. Like, he was on a mission, man. He wasn't trying to sit back and cater to the people of Wakanda, you know?
So when you do these things you saying we supposed to do, you know, help out your auntie, help out the widow, look out for your nephew. How is this brother just pulling up a laptop and clicking on your screen name being edified? How can he go on the highways and the byways and combat a scoffer that's talking about Cornelius is a Edomite, man?
Yeah, that's almost like a love everybody doctrine.
Yeah, it's Christianity, man.
And, you know, so that's a very dangerous line to tiptoe across.
Yeah,
you know.
Because the scripture talk about we coming to the time where our mothers, our brothers, our kids finna betray us, man.
Yeah.
So why should we be getting close to random people, man? You know, that's a very unwise doctrine, man. You know, we coming into the time where we close knit with each other, man. You know, outside this, everybody's skeptical, man. I'm looking at everybody skeptical, man. Like, what the hell they up to, man? You know, not around here trying to get them $5 or $10, man. Cause that's like rewarding bad behavior, man. You know, cause you give them $5 more $10 to go do some more nigga shit, man.
You're an enabler.
You're
an
Black
enabler.
And you still not taking them out that situation.
No.
$5 and $10 is not life changing.
No.
This truth will take you out of your situation.
Truth is life changing. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
You could be a crackhead, come to the truth, and that'll clean your spirit up, man.
I got a quick precept with Yasha's brought out. 2nd Ezra 15 and 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor.
And that's the times we're getting into, man. That's why the Most High is making us cold, man. All right, because when you go through hardships and afflictions, it makes you cold, man, and you can endure longer, man. Go ahead, bro.
A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation.
Right, so hey, you're gonna have cats out here doing whatever to feed themselves, man. And then there is gonna be certain people in the household gonna kill each other for the want of bread, man, and water, man. So like the brother said, what through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Shai, that's what keep us united, because we fear and we know if we mess over a brother, then we can get fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about kill. But them niggas out there are lawless, man. They feel like they don't got nothing to lose anyway.
I'm saying them niggas you giving them $5 and $10 to come in your shit, man. All right, when the food trucks start running, all right, then you gonna see, man.
Hey, Sean Taylor, the football player, he paid these little niggas to cut his grass, and as soon as they thought he was out of town, what they do? They broke in his house, and then he died. You remember, because they shot him in the leg, he died.
I ain't know about that.
Yeah, years ago. Man, fuck these niggas, man.
Yeah, fuck them, man.
It says all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. So it don't matter. It don't matter what type of good deed you do to them. If the Heavenly Father's not with them, you know, it's gonna be OB regardless.
The spiritual curse still on majority of our people. From Jeremiah put the curse on them, King David, and the curse of when they say let his blood be on our children. Right?
Hey, bro, you know what King David said? King David had the mind of the Most High. He basically he said always. You know, in the scripture, like let their table be a snare to them. When you look up always, it means basically every reincarnation they come back, they'll never get it.
He said, don't let them come into his righteousness.
That's right. Always, per reincarnation, they'll never get it.
It was a hell of a curse.
Like that basketball, everlasting.
Yeah, that's so the efforts of trying to help random Jake that's just out there, just because you feel sorry for him, it's futile, man. It's a waste of time.
It makes you look good.
Yeah, to the world.
To the world, look, it's a good look to the world.
Yeah, you fed this homeless guy that's possibly high off meth. You fed him chicken.
Hey, like I said, we went to this bar, right? And Keisha had a titty out. I just call her Keisha. So the girl had her nipple showing. Jake walked all the way to the other end of the bar to let her know, look, your body being exposed. And she covered her nipple up. What happened 5 minutes later? Her nipple popped right back out.
Yeah, she laid right back down.
But I'm saying to say, that's Jake. You could give him $5, $10, give him a speech how he should better himself. Next Tuesday, he's gonna be out on the same bullshit, most likely, man. Like, it is what it is.
Yep, that's our people. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 42. Well, I start at verse 41. Even so now, seeing corruption is grown up, and wickedness increased, and the righteous have prayed for the ungodly, wherefore shall it not be so now also. He answered me and said, this present life is not the end where much glory doth abide. Therefore have they prayed for the weak. All right, so it's telling you these the weak, man. And like that was the Most High's response to Ezra, man. Like, they done prayed for the weak, man. That's futile. You over here praying for the weak. Hey, they gonna get destroyed, man. Like, why are you over here worried about them? You know what I mean? Just because we under the curses, man. Nobody wants to see their nation lose. All right? Look at Esau in America, man. Esau in America has American pride, man. He sheds a tear over that damn national anthem. He votes religiously. He joins all these organizations. He builds his company, and he's happy where he at. Why? Because his nation winning. All right. The UK, they say they got the United Kingdom pride over there, man. Africa, they got the African pride over there, man. You got these Hamites with multiple wives. You got them with their little kingdoms that they got over there, where they got a whole bunch of gold and diamonds and natural resources. You got the Arabs, Ishmaelites, they over there with nothing but oil money. I'm talking about they got stupid money, man. You got Japanese, Chinese, you know, they all got their nation, man. Well, who over here hurt? All right, you got the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans are hurt, man. Hurt and damaged. So the nation is losing. Nobody wants to look at Brazil and see the favelas, man. Why? Because that's your people. You feel bad. Nobody wants to drive through the hood, man, and you see this crazy ass homeless nigga talking to himself, strung out on drugs, man. Nobody want to see it. But at the end of the day, man, hey, the Most High doesn't let that stuff happen to them, man. Just like these folks, our people out here faggots, man. You know what I'm saying? That, like,
Fathers.
yeah, they fatherless, man.
What we gonna do to them?
Yeah.
What we gonna do for them?
We talk, so a faggot who ain't got no father, do you go help him out?
He got a logical excuse. He ain't had no daddy. He got molested. You know what I'm saying? You gonna go help him? He gonna try to get at you.
No, ain't got no help for nobody like that. So you can't pick and choose and say that this is the second part to this scripture. Like, no, that's added to the scriptures, man. All right.
Okay, then we're gonna get busy.
All right, this is Psalms 125:4. Do good, O Yahweh, unto those that be good, and to them that upright in their hearts. And that's, you know, basically, you supposed to do good to the people that you know, that live right, basically.
They according to the scripture.
Yeah, you just can't do it like the widow. You might find a widow. The widow can be motherfucking. That widow can be doing all kind of wicked shit. You know what I'm saying?
She probably killed her husband.
You know what I'm saying?
You know?
Cause this one I seen, this one on news, I watched this lady kill her husband and wife, like he being a cat. So she killed the Jay. You know what I'm saying? So if you people do good to
Believers.
the believers, really.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
That's why the scriptures are for the prophets only, man. Like, if you're not a prophet through the spirit of Yahweh, you shouldn't even open the Bible. All right, the prophets break it down to the elect, and then that's how the fathers become having a father, because they're basically through the spirit of being converted back to Yahweh, Hashem Al-Shai. Same thing with the widows. We're gonna wrap it up. Get visited, bro. In the
Strong's G, 1980. It is kept on. It is kept on.
Episkeptomai. And it says to inspect, to select. I'm gonna go to high outline of biblical usage. To look upon or after, to inspect, examine with the eyes, in order to see how he is.
So, okay, now, Isaiah 58:1. And this is how we do that in the spirit, man. Somebody get Matthew 22:9. And somebody get Matthew 11:17.
Isaiah 58:1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression.
Hey, when you doing these videos on the highways and byways, being consistent, doing your weekly videos, this is how you're basically examining the fatherless and the widows, man. Okay? You doing the work, all right? Through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Al-Shai, doing that spiritual conversion, man. That's all that is saying, man. That's how you visit them. So if you're an active brother in the truth, then basically you're visiting them all the time anyway.
All they gotta do is get on YouTube.
Right.
And be like, oh man, they just put it, they going live, y'all. And you click on there, man. What more do you need to do for them?
Because Satan's wisdom is more precious than gold, man. You know, so if you're giving them the wisdom and understanding of the scriptures, man, you're giving them the most valuable thing that you can give them, man. You know?
And then Yahweh shall say, cast not your
Swine.
right.
And
So
then-
what is that saying?
Gun. Then in Matthew 6 chapter, when it said you giving your alms, let not your left hand know what your right hand doing, what alms was Yahushua talking about?
Right.
We're talking about the spiritual alms is pushing his word, man.
Mhm.
All right, and how you don't know, let you know what your left hand know what your right hand doing, because you at work, all right, just a regular guy, man. But when you go home, You constantly giving alms, all right, to the elect of
That's right.
Israel, man. It's spiritual, man.
That's right.
You know.
That's right. Finish that, bro.
It says, cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgression, and the house of Jacob their sins.
Okay. Matthew 22:9.
Matthew 22:9. It said, go ye therefore into the highway, and as many as ye shall find, be it to the marriage.
Matthew 11:7.
11 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 7. And they departed, Salaki, and as they departed, Yahushua began to say unto the multitudes concerning John, what went ye out into the wilderness to see? A reed shaken with the wind? Well, what went ye out for to see? A man clothed in soft raiment? Behold, they that wear soft clothing are.
Matthew 11:17.
Okay, come on. This is Matthew 11:17, and saying, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned unto you, and ye have not lamented.
And that's how you visit the fatherless, all right? That's how you visit the widows. Now, with 3 more precepts. Matthew 26:11.
Matthew 26, verse 11. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always.
Read that again, bro.
For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always.
Hey, so the poor is going to be in the midst of the nation of Israel until we get to the kingdom of heaven, man. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Mark 3:33. And the last scripture, Tobias 2, chapter 2, verses 1 through 2.
Mark 3:33. And he answered them, saying, who is my mother or my brother? And he looked round about them, which said about him, and said, behold, my mother and my brethren. For whosoever shall do the will of the Most High, the same is my brother and my sister and my mother.
That's right. So that's the characteristic of the elect. They're going to do the will of the Most High, man. And this is coming from Yahushua, man. Yahushua wasn't taking his mama garbage out when he was walking on the earth. You know what I'm saying?
He said he didn't pray for the world.
That's right.
Only those who the Lord gave him.
And what we were talking about yesterday, let the dead bury the dead.
Oh yeah, he said, let the dead bury the dead. So what? The man said he came to Yahushua and said he had to bury his father. That he couldn't go with him right now. Wait till he done burying his father. And he said, no, let the dead bury the dead.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you see how the Lord is. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, what they got to do with you? You dead now.
That's right.
You need to be doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
Let these wicked motherfuckers who gonna get destroyed, let them do the burying. You go out and you go do the work.
That's right.
And that's how it is, you know, we receive the office, you know, of being prophets and teachers, man. The Most High got people set up who gonna feed the homeless if they meant to eat, man. That's already set up, man, you know, but I would say, the brothers have their office, man, and this is what we doing, man.
The book of Tobit, chapter 2, verse 1. When I was come home again, and my wife Anna was restored unto me with my son Tobias in the feast of Pentecost, which is the holy feast of the 7 weeks, there was a good dinner prepared me, in the which I sat down to eat. And when I saw abundance of meat, I said to my son, go and bring what poor man soever thou shalt find out of our brethren, who is mindful of the Lord, and lo, I tarry for thee.
So the poor man that are mindful of Yahweh Shem Shai, that's within the brotherhood, that's who he gave the meat to. Not all of Israel, all right? He gave it to men that was in agreement, that was all about the will, that was all about the affairs of Yahweh Shem Shai.
They all like-minded.
That was all like-minded. That's what connected them together with the Spirit, all right?
He said, why speak it thou in parables?
Right. That's right. We can hear what you
Because even with that, what the brothers do. Like if a brother, let's say one of the brothers, a sincere brother, he became a multi-millionaire. He working with over 45 million. What does that mean for the brothers around him who ain't got it, you know, struggling on rent? You know, what is he gonna do? You know, oh, don't worry, I got it, man. You know, just keep your rent money this month, man. Save up so you can get something started. That's what's gonna happen, man. And the reason why is because those the people that you look out for. You give one of these, matter of fact, this past Sunday, we saw a homeless nigger woman conversing with demons, back and walking, pacing back and forth up and down the street, man, cursing demons out. You know. Now, why would you give her $2 million? Why would you buy her a house? Why would you do or feed that, man?
Like I said, it's like you got that Drake video, Guys playing.
Mm-hmm.
He was giving away money to like the regular Jakes, I think in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
How much money do they have now since the video's been shot? It's still broke.
Broke.
It's over with.
They pop bottles with that money, man. They went and stunted on somebody with that money, because that's what Jake do, man.
That's right. That's right.
They went and bought Xanax and drugs. Our people are jacked up, man. You know, they jacked up. Just like these little young women, they jacked up, man. They crazy. You can't help them, man. They don't respect you. Nor do they respect the Lord, man. How you gonna be over here talking to a widow, 64-year-old woman, and she's over here with a goddamn nutcracker over here cracking over a crab leg, man? You know what I'm saying? Or eating an oyster, slurping on an oyster and stuff, man. And you over here, see, you know, I'll just take the trash out for you, you know what I'm saying? I know you're struggling. Why she over there slurping on an oyster, man? No, man. That ain't the way. Cause it's a vain effort. You know? In your heart to the world, if somebody saw you out in the world, a dead motherfucker who don't count, somebody of the congregation of the dead, yeah, they'll look at you and be like, man, that's a righteous guy. That guy's on point. He's so nice. He's this, he's that. He takes out the trash. He mowed my lawn, all this other stuff. But how did you edify the body by doing this? How did you get closer to Yahweh Shai by doing this? You didn't. I say, if that's what you want to do that bullshit on your personal time, man. You know?
This book of Romans chapter 8 verse 15. For ye have not received the spirit of bondage again to fear, but ye have received the spirit of adoption, whereby we cry, Abba, Father. You know, so we are those sons that was adopted in, man. You know, we were the fathers, but we was adopted back through the sacrifice of Yahweh Shai, man. You know.
Isaiah 61:1, the Spirit of the Lord power is upon me, because the Lord anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek.
That's the gospel, man. That's his truth. And the meek is the poor.
Yes.
To the elect.
He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound. So that's not talking about anybody in Angola prison. You gonna start passing out stuff to everybody in the prison house or something like that?
You gonna try to break in,
Yeah.
break them out.
So just prove that point, brother got tidings in the Hebrew. And on the definition it says,
This is the word bashar. It says to bear news, bear tidings, publish, preach, show forth, to gladden with good news, to bear news, to announce salvation as good news, preach.
and that's only to the elect.
That's it. That's it, man. And so in a nutshell, James 1:27, you see religions that's talking about keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. All right. When you see fatherless, and when you see widows, it's actually going into the elect of Israel. All right.
So what are we supposed to get on a boat and go to Alcatraz prison, you know, and teach?
They bound up, man.
Or go to a female prison, because you know they're full of widows.
Look at some dick.
Right. They're looking for women looking to be freaks, man. Yeah, point been made. Lord will you brothers were edified, man. Once again, we want to give our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Ruach Kodash. Them honest to our elders, the apostle, great millstone, honest to you brothers who out there doing the work in sincerity and in truth. Death to America, Kwame Yashala. Shalom.
Shalom.